This is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 10 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. The former Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has become the latest Conservative MP to voice concerns about the government's mini-budget. He warned the Prime Minister not to try to block her ears and push things through. His comments come after the former Conservative Cabinet Minister Michael Gove called on Liz Truss to reverse plans to abolish the 45% tax rate for the wealthiest. Mr Shapps suggested that the measures will be voted down in the Commons.
I don't think the House is in a place where it's likely to support that. Sometimes budgets go wrong when they're announced. I remember the 2012, it was called the Omnishambles at the time, and George Osborne quickly reversed out of some of the problems with that budget. And, you know what, we went on to win the next election.
Liz Truss said the measures were needed to promote economic growth, but admitted she should have communicated them better. The polls are now closed in Brazil's presidential elections as two rivals from opposite ends of the political spectrum fight for power. Both the far-right President Jair Bolsonaro and Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva have pledged more generous welfare spending, with a country of 215 million people facing an economic crisis and high inflation. The Secretary-General of NATO says the capture of the Ukrainian town in territory declared annexed by President Putin demonstrates Ukraine's ability to push back against Russian forces. In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, a day after Ukrainian troops took control of the eastern town of Liman, Jens Stoltenberg said the best way to counter Russian aggression was to continue to support the government in Kyiv.
This weekend again we have seen that they have been able to take a new town, Liman, and that demonstrates that the Ukrainians are making progress, are able to push back the Russian forces because of their courage, because of their bravery, their skills, but of course also because of the advanced weapons that the United States and other allies are providing.
Records were broken at the London Marathon today as the event took place in the autumn for the final time before returning to its traditional Spring Sunday next year. The race celebrated its youngest ever women's winner as 23-year-old Yalemzeh Fiyaharo of Harlow of Ethiopia took first place. There were new course records in the wheelchair events as well. Football, and Manchester City thrashed their rivals, Manchester United, 6-3 in the Premier League this afternoon. But the headlines will again go to their star striker, Erling Haaland, scoring his third hat-trick in a row at home in the league. The first time it's ever been done. He says there was an extra incentive today.
On Friday I felt it, the whole training ground, and it's these games I want to play. This is the best games, it's a bit more extra this and that, so it's nice.
Tonight's weather dry and clear for most. The odd shower is expected in the northwest. BBC News, it's 3 minutes past 10.
Now, BBC Radio 2 unwinds with Angela Griffin.
And so, the big duvet is back on, and you are flirting in that sweet spot between jackets and coats. We are going to be hearing Christmas songs before you know it. Yes, my friends, autumn is here. Pumpkin latte, anyone? Do you know what? I actually like it. I don't know if I'm in the minority, but when the nights draw in and it's all dark at 7 o'clock and I can get all my big jumpers out, I love it. It's a time as well when I don't feel guilty for planting myself up on the sofa. In summer, I feel like I'm meant to be out all the time barbecuing or something, whereas now I can just put my comfies on and settle in. And tonight on Unwind, we are getting real cosy. I'm Angela Griffin with your de-stressing after hours soundtrack. Tonight you're going to be hearing euphoric tunes from Earth, Wind and Fire, Norah Jones and Lauryn Hill. But we're going to start with a track written by Lauren's old bandmate, Wyclef Jean. Here's Whitney on Radio 2.